Y'all, I have literally been cleaning this house all day trying to help these cast members find the fuck that they are supposed to give, because they don't give a fuck. If I start sweating profusely, why I can't never talk? If I start sweating profusely out of nowhere, it's because, of course, as you can tell from my lighting, I'm getting some natural light going on. But have y'all ever fell asleep in the middle of a nap and you left your heat on, or you had like a what you call it, like a plug-in heater, like on your feet or something, and then when you wake up you realize that you done lost about at least 5 to 15% body weight? What's up, y'all? It's your girl P Hope, and I am back with another video. This is Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, season 3. I believe this is episode 27. If it's not, then we still gonna talk about it anyway, regardless. Period. Cool. I hope everybody had a wonderful work week. You know, mine was a little topsy-turvy, but you know, I made it through the week. I always look forward to the weekend because my show comes on, and they didn't give me no whole bunch this week, but we already know they gave a bitch enough to talk about, so let's get into it. The episode starts off with Quaylon as old Quavo finally getting his ass dropped off in Branson. Okay, he's down in Branson, and he's waiting on the Uber. It looks like he could have just came out the airport or something like that, and he's waiting on his Uber. But while he's standing out there, y'all, it looked like the man about to blow away. I mean, it looked like he was in the Windy City, because leaves and branches and shit was just flying everywhere. And I just wanted his ride to hurry up and show up before he got knocked down the street somewhere, because I mean, y'all know he don't weigh but this much. And then the wind was just really handling his business, and I was like, oh my, hurry up and pick him up before one of his dreads fly away. He's trying to figure out where the hell Chevelle and Maila could be, because all he knows is that they're in Branson, but that's it. So he's calling. He's blowing Chevelle's phone up, and she ain't answering. She's ignoring all calls, all text messages. So he said, you know what? I'm going to call my baby girl Maila, and I know she going to answer for me, because that's what she do for her daddy. So he calls the phone, and it just so happened to be at the time that Chevelle said she had to go use the restroom. So they're at this scene where it is Chevelle, Maila, and D-Mark are all at this little amusement park, and they're getting ready to ride rides and things of that nature. But Chevelle said she had to go to the ladies' room. So when she goes out to the ladies' room, this is the time that Quaylon decides to call Maila. He's like, hey, how you doing, pretty girl? This and that and the third. Oh, I'm sorry, pretty girl, that's Michael. How you doing, daddy, baby? And and she's like, hey daddy, this and that and the third. And you can see D-Mark kind of side-eyeing over there at the phone like, I know that ain't who I think it is. So then, you know, after the conversation carry on for a few more minutes, he look over at Maila and he's like, who is that you on the phone with? And she said, my daddy. And so at this point, D-Mark is completely disgusted, because it's like, bro, what do you want? Go find you something to do. That's how D-Mark feel about the situation. Now, Chevelle done came back out the restroom. So, of course, D-Mark done, you know, said, you know, your baby daddy called you. And I ain't talking about the biological father. And she's like, call Maila's phone? And he was like, yeah. So she's pissed. She said Quaylon ain't got no damn business calling Maila's phone. And that's just that on that. But during that little phone conversation, Quaylen was able to ask enough questions to figure out where they were. He was like, you having fun? What you doing? And she was like, hanging out with mommy and cousin D-Mark or Uncle D-Mark, whatever she called him. And she was hanging out with my man. Woo! Y'all already know that's mine. Like, you may have had him once, but I have him all the time. So he's like, oh yeah, you hanging out with your mama and D-Mark? Okay, that's what's up. Well, I see that big Ferris wheel behind you. Okay, what what y'all doing? You getting ready to get on that? And she like, oh yeah, I don't know. I might, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So he took that little tidbit of information and then he went in some store or information booth or something and was able to ask the lady, like, okay, where is it around here, like where y'all have a really big Ferris wheel? And the lady told him where the Ferris wheel was. And then he was like, okay, so is that like in walking distance, or do y'all rent cars out here, or what do I need to do? Y'all got Uber? And she was like, you can call your ass a taxi. It's about 4 miles down the road or whatnot. So I mean, I don't advise you to walk that far, but just call you a taxi. And so he's sitting there spilling the beans and telling the damn lady all his business about, his whole point of being in Branson. And he's like, yeah, I'm just in hot water. So I'm really just trying to work some stuff out right now. She don't even know I'm coming, you underdig. But I need to be there so that I can get my lady back. Now, y'all, this white woman behind the counter didn't give a damn about why the hell Quaylen was in Branson. Didn't give a damn why the hell Quaylen ain't got his own means of transportation. And really didn't even give a damn about what the hell goes on in his personal life. She just really wanted him and them cameras to get the fuck out her face so she could go back to doing whatever the hell she was doing. But she gave him a little word of advice. She was just like, just talk real smooth to her. So, I guess that's what gets her through her day. A smooth talker will get her every time, because that's the word of advice that she gave Quaylen. And he held on to that information and he pushed his ass on back up out the stove. We still don't know how he appeared, but some kind of way, in the blink of an eye, Quaylen had done teleported his ass to the amusement park where Chevelle, D-Mark, and Maila were chilling at for the day. So he shows up. He's still pulling his damn suitcase around, because I'm assuming he really is like on a whim with all this shit. He don't know where he gonna sleep at. He don't know how he gonna maneuver around for the rest of the day. He don't know shit. All he know is he gotta get to wherever the hell Chevelle motherfucking ass is. And so knowing is half the battle for him. So he finally figures out where they are. He's walking around until he spots them. They're sitting on this bench while Maila is riding go-karts. So, her and D-Mark are just sitting there. They having a conversation, and they actually talking shit about his ass as he shows up. Because, D-Mark is like, I'm just, glad that you finally done moved on and you focusing on Maila, and that's just what you need to be focused on at this time. And just let that no good fool go. You know what I'm saying? Just let him do whatever the hell it is that he doing. And she like, yeah, I know. Like, I don't even know why I was tripping off of him anyways. And then he comes around the corner with this damn suitcase, and D-Mark is instantly pissed. And Chevelle started cheesing from ear to ear. She done pulled this number right here. She saw him come around that corner. She said, and I was like, what? That's definitely not the energy that I was expecting Chevelle to give. I had expected Chevelle to give me real attitude, real like, bro, what are you doing here? I told you I was going to Branson. Like, that's what I expected. But she was pleasantly surprised. So at this point, me and D-Mark was looking at each other like, you see this shit? And he was like, nah, do you see this shit? And I was like, look, baby, I see it. So If we need to leave them alone to themselves, then we can do that. And, you know, long story short, that's exactly what happened. Because from the time that Quaylon said, hey, how y'all doing, him and D-Mark was at it. Because they spoke to each other. But then after that, it was on some, everything that Quaylon was saying, D-Mark kind of was putting his 2 cents in it. And so after a while, Quaylon was just over it. And Quaylon was like, y'all, I'm sorry if that motor scooter or whatever that is in the background, because as you can see from the sun right here, that I'm doing this in the middle of the day, well, in the evening. And so people is out riding their little Christmas gifts. But anyway, so yeah, they bantering, going back and forth, because everything Quaylon say, D-Mark is coming out right back behind him with a smart remark. So, you know, D-Mark like, you know, I don't even really know what you doing here, bruh. And he was like, you know what I'm saying, he said, I got a permanent seat at the table. You just got an invitation, is what D-Mark was saying. And Quaylon was like, nah, bro, you got it messed up. And then he done put his arm all around Chevelle, and he was like, nah, I got a permanent seat at the table. I got my feet kicked up and everything. I don't know what you thought, but you got the game fucked up. And so I'm just like, dang, you know, they going back and forth with each other. Like, is they about to get into it? Because D-Mark was really getting some stress in his chest. Like, it was definitely some pressure on him. And so as he was walking off, because Chevelle was like, well, you know, since y'all doing all this back and forth, like, can you just give us a minute to talk? So D-Mark was like, y'all, this bike about to aggravate me. This bike is really about to aggravate me. So they, y'all, long story short, they whole little scene end up ending because they let D-Mark do a little confessional, and he was like, look, I really want to slap the fire out of Chevelle, because I feel stupid, because it's like I'm trying to save somebody that don't want to be saved. And I said, you know what? You're right. You are trying to save somebody that don't want to be saved, because she didn't want him to go to Branson, but at the same time, now that he's here, she's welcoming him with open arms. So, you know, I understand that you're doing the family thing and you're trying to have her back, and like, you know, shoe fly don't bother me with this Quaylon shit, but it's like you're pushing Quaylon away, but she started pulling him in. And so at the end of the day, it's ultimately her decision. So you might as well just let it go, D-Mark. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever kind of trap she fall into, just let her ass fall. So that's where the scene ended, with D-Mark walking away. He was still talking shit to Quaylon. He was like, homeboy, you already know what I'm about, so I don't even know why you over there doing all that capping. Look, don't revert back to Chevelle. Come to the light. Come to the light, baby. Like, we're not going back to day one when you was doing all this stupid shit waiting on Quaylon ass to get out. Don't go back to dumb Chevelle. Stay in the Chevelle that you're in. But, you know, I get it. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you who to love. So we'll figure out what the hell they got going on next week, because y'all remember they hyped us up in the commercial like it was about to be this big ass blow up. So who knows what's about to happen. I honestly feel like D-Mark and Quaylon probably finna get into it, but I could be wrong. But we'll just have to stay tuned till next week and see. Let's move right along. Y'all, I don't know why the hell this scene tickled me so bad, but Shane and Lacey's scene tickled me. How the hell Shane ass went about it. So So y'all remember last week when Lacey daddy had took Shane ass out to play golf, and he had them spilled the beans all at the same time that John ass done got up out of jail. So Shane sitting here trying to figure out why the hell his girl, the mother of his child, ain't saying nothing to him about the situation. So okay, he done been at work. He come home from a long day at work. They got Lacey ass off in the kitchen. She getting the food out the oven, looking like, you know, trying to look like she been slaving over a goddamn stove all day. And now they at the point where the whole family is at the dinner table. Everybody quiet as a mouse because everybody stuffing their face with food. Everybody got food in their mouth, okay? So I guess whatever she cooked for dinner that night, it was good. Okay, so Shane is sitting there picking over his food while everybody else tearing their food up. So he decided to strike up a conversation at the table, right? So he said, so kids, everybody had a good day or bad day? So all the kids hollering, good, we had a good day. But one of the kids said, bad. I said, oh, okay, you know, all days can't be good, but you know, whatever. So he took that as the segue to go ahead and get out what he had to get out. So he was like, he said, you know what? I can appreciate your honesty. It's okay to have a bad day. You know, we all have bad days from time to time. But, you know, the point is to always be honest and to always tell the truth. So Lacey looked over at his ass and was like, is that what you learned at work today? Morals? And baby, why did she say that? Just as nice, nasty as he wanted to be. He said, well, no, I was actually raised with morals. I didn't just learn them at work today. And I said, yes, Shane, get her. That's how you check a Botox mouth ass heifer. That's how you do it right there. Nice, nasty. They pan over to a quick scene of John, just so we can know what the hell he got going on, y'all. I'm not sure if John is a paid cast member or not. It was to my understanding that the inmates do not get paid for the show. But, you know, they might have changed some of the rules or whatever, because I don't know why the hell John keep choosing to participate in this shit. But for whatever reason, we at the place where he's staying at, and he off up in there making grilled cheese sandwiches. He done burnt one of them to a damn crisp. It's just as hard and crunchy as this damn tripod that my camera's sitting on. And the other one was toasted on one side and just untoasted on the other side. So he done offered his homeboy. He said, I think he said he was locked up with the homeboy, and he done offered him the burnt grilled cheese, and he was like, yeah, you know, I was hungry, but I'm straight. I passed, you know what I'm saying? I just get something when I head on out. So the homeboy just sitting there talking to him and pretty much just asking him, like, you know, what's been going on with you since you've been out, whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm just still stuck. Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this whole Lacey situation. He said that he is really stuck on this last time that he got locked up. He said he really honestly feels like in his heart of hearts that Lacey actually called the police on him, which is definitely not like her. So you know, he feels like that's out of her character. Probably kind of feels like Shane, you know, probably kind of had an influence in her doing that, if she's even the one that called the police on him. And he said that even now that he's back out and he's been trying to call her and contact her, she's not responding or replying to anything. So it's really pissing him off, because at this point all he wants is some closure. He wants to know, did she actually make that call? But he also just wants closure on whatever they had, because at the time that he got locked up, they were in the middle of something. So it's like, you know, what's really going on? So that was just a short little snippet of what the hell John got going on in the mix. So now at this point, everybody about done eating. They done went, the kids done went on about their business, and Shane and Lacey are in the kitchen cleaning up the aftermath of dinner. Shane's still running around pouting, looking crazy, and at this point Lacey has a whole attitude because she don't know what this vibe is that he's giving off. So she's like, what's going on? And he finally just broke down and said what it was. He was like, yeah, so, you know, when we were playing golf, your dad let me know that John is out. Because he had initially said, you got anything you want to tell me? And she was like, no. He said, nothing at all. You sure you don't have nothing that you want to say to me? And she was like, no. And I was like, wow, okay, so this is her angle. So once he finally did break out and say what it was, that, you know, yeah, your dad told me that this food was out, so you didn't think that was nothing that I wanted to know, you didn't want to run that by me. She was like, it wasn't nothing to tell, like, it wasn't important. And he was like, okay, well, have you talked to him? Have you called him? Have you guys met up or hooked up anywhere? And she was like, no, I have your baby inside of me, so, you know, none of that is important to me. And he was like, well, I think that we should just get a restraining order against this fool and be done with it. She didn't agree or disagree to that. But when she went in her room and she was mumbling under her breath, it showed her go back to the text message of where John had texted her and said, guess who's out? And then she said, you know, to pretty much just to the camera, she said, I'll contact him whenever I get good and damn ready to. So I still stand to what the hell I said on last week's review. I feel like she just kind of was telling that situation because she's still unsure whether she was going to contact John ass or not. She didn't know if she was going to do it, so what she decided to do was not say nothing. So now she running around mad at her daddy because she said she told him that in confidence, and, you know, now it's causing friction in her household. No, bitch, you're causing friction in your household because that's not no kind of secret that you should have kept from your man. I don't care what the situation was. I don't care if you don't have no intentions on reaching out to him. It's still something that Shane needs to know because y'all know John ain't got all his marbles. So this man could pop up on you anywhere. This man can pop up on Shane anywhere. So it is something that he needs to know. So I felt like you was on some trifling shit just like he do. Sarah and Michael. Okay. Their little scene was just kind of short and sweet, to the point. Y'all, this bike, Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry, y'all. But y'all remember last week they was in a big blow up on the outside of the hotel room, but the argument ended up fizzling out because they had both calmed down, and Michael told her, you know, look, go home, get the kids situated, and I'm gonna be over there so that we can talk about this and get this whole thing squared away. And so now we are fast forwarded to him actually doing that. He shows up at Sarah's house, and the kids are still up or whatever, but it's almost little Aviana's bedtime. So Sarah said, well, you know, I know you're getting ready to go to bed in a minute, but while me, you, and Daddy are all sitting here in the living room, I just want to apologize to you and let you know that I'm sorry for doing all that yelling and acting out in front of you, and Mommy loves you very much, and Mommy and Daddy love each other very much, so you don't have nothing to worry about. Like, she just wanted to smooth everything over for Aviana so that Aviana won't be feeling some type of way. You know, Aviana said, okay, you know, it's fine. She smiled. She gave her mama a hug. And that was pretty much that. And she was getting ready to head out to bed, but then Michael had reached out to get him a hug, and he apologized to Aviana as well. So I feel like it was nice to do. I'm not sure if that's something that Sarah would have done if the cameras were not in her home. So it seemed a little bit forced to me, but I'll let y'all have it. After Michael apologized to little Aviana, he actually went ahead and tucked her in bed. So he went and put her to bed, and while he was in the middle of doing that, Sarah had yelled back in the hallway and was like, "So Mike, you want a beer?" And I was like, beer? Like, I swear I saw the bullshit coming from a mile away, because I'm like, okay, here we go again. Here we go again. Like, getting him a beer is what spread your legs the last time. What would Malcolm think about this? And what would Jesus do? Huh, Sarah? Huh? They did not really discuss too much more about the whole co-parenting situation. But, you know, after they both popped their little beers or whatever, they pretty much just was kicking it and having conversation amongst themselves, because I forgot how that conversation got started, but they got to talking about having sex. And he was like, you know, when was the last time that we had sex or made love, or what, however he worded it. And she was like, it's been years ago, and you know it's been years ago. And he was like, okay, that might have been years ago, but when the last time we fucked? And she thought that that was the funniest shit under the sun. But that laugh let Michael know, and it let all of us know that there is still potential there for him to get him a little bit if he wants some, because she was just too tickled, and she had that sparkle in her eye. And it wasn't the beer. Like, honey, you ain't had enough beer for that to be a false narrative. You really still have feelings for this man. And so Michael said that he feels like, he told her that he feels like they're in an open marriage. Because, I mean, like, I know Sarah is still in love with me. So, I mean, it just kind of feels like an open marriage. And she was like, shit, me. And then she was like, so, you know, if I have like 3 dudes and all that, like, that's cool. Like, I can just come borrow some rubbers from you or whatever. And he was like, shit, you can use the rubbers that I left over here last time. And so I'm like, wow, Sarah, you something else. But I get it. You're just going to keep using the excuse that, you know, at the end of the day, this is my husband. So I don't care who think that they got him. I don't care who I'm smashing. I don't care who he's smashing. If I want some of that peen, I'm going to get some of that peen. And that's just what that is. But what was very interesting to me was Michael said, so what's up with you and old boy? Like, what's good with you and Malcolm? And she said, I mean, we're okay, but I'm just focused on my family right now. I was very confused, and I took that as Malcolm done got tired of your shit, is what that is. He's not finna be out here looking stupid. He can clearly tell, just like we can clearly tell, that it's still something there with you when it comes to Michael. And nobody wants to purposely put themselves in the middle of your bullshit, Sarah. So I really feel like Malcolm has cut you off. You're saying that you're focused on your family, but I think that that's by force. I don't think that's by choice. I think that, you know, you haven't met anybody else at the current time. But as far as Malcolm is concerned, he probably put y'all on the back burner until you get your mind right. But, you know, only time will tell if I'm right about that or not. So let's just keep it moving along. Amber and Puppy. Amber and Puppy are getting ready to go out. This is going to be Puppy's first time going out, getting lit. You know what I'm talking about? So she's getting dressed up, you know, she's putting on face, she's giving you dress, she's giving you heels so that she can give you calf and body yaddy. She got the titties hanging out. Then you got Amber, she got on her, you know, I was getting ready to say something. You know, she got on her little 1-2 step and some jeans, and she got on her some little kitten heels to go with it. But Puppy is just letting us know that she's very nervous about going out because of course she hasn't been out in a very long time, and she's never been around this group of people that Amber is about to introduce her to, so she just has no idea what to expect. They end up going to this place called Barnacles. Now that is around in my area. I have definitely heard of Barnacles, but I've never been. But it looked like it was a really cute bar, good vibes in there. So as soon as they go in, Amber goes over to this little, looks like it could be like a VIP section, and that's where all her people are. So, you know, she's having fun, hugging everybody. Then she introduces everybody to Puppy. And then after the drinks and the music gets to flowing, honey, Amber got real mixy and real mingly. So, I don't know if this is just what she does, but, you know, homegirl got real touchy. She definitely didn't give a damn about touching on Puppy in public, kissing on Puppy in public. Miss Girl got very touchy. She got very mixy with everybody throughout the club. You know, you seen her here, there, and everywhere. And she even was having a cute little conversation with what is his name from Love and Hip Hop? Scrap, that was his name. Scrap De Leon from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She was sitting there with him having a conversation, and at this point Puppy was looking around the club like, where the fuck is Amber? Like, what's up? And Amber's still roaming around being mixy and mingly, like she's partying. Let me do me while you do you. And then when it's time to go, we'll do each other. Y'all, the sun done went down. The babies done went in the house. The owl's probably out somewhere in the tree howling and shit. And I'm still running my damn mouth. That's sad. But just wrapping up Amber and Puppy. So like I said, Puppy was pissed on the little Uber ride back home. So her whole thing was like, I can't believe you just left me in the club to do my own thing, and you already knew how I felt about that. But, you know, Amber kept saying, like, you okay? You know, like, you sure you okay? You seem like you got an attitude. But Amber ass was so drunk that she cared, but she didn't care. Like, you could tell that Amber is one of those people that, look, when she get drunk, she just get horny AF, okay? So she cared that Puppy had an attitude, but it's like, look, we could talk about whatever you want to talk about after we get this smash session out the way. So by the time they made it back to the house, they done forgot all about Puppy mama rules, I guess, because they couldn't even hardly get the dough shit good before they was all over each other. So I'm pretty sure we don't have to ask, and the mama don't have to ask, did y'all have a little click clack hanky panky action going on? Yes, mama, they did. They was both drunk and things just happened. So, you know, if you heard a little bumping on the wall, if you heard a couple of noises, that's what that was. It was clicking and clacking going on. So, you know, I don't know, maybe you're gonna have to make Puppy that pallet on the floor, because they don't know how to act when they drink. Now, y'all, I don't know what happened with my little notes for Scott and Lindsay, because they whole little scene is a blur to me. So all I remember is that Scott saying that, you know, she done tore up the goddamn house. He's over it, and at this point he's ready for her to go. He said that this is definitely the most toxic relationship that he has ever been in out of all of his relationships, and it's just very unfortunate that him and Lindsay did not work out. But at the end of the day, that bitch need to go. I remember it panning over to her, and she said that she ain't going nowhere. Why should she have to leave? He did say that it is a sensitive situation. It's not just as simple as saying, you know, wham bam, thank you ma'am, you know, goodbye. Because she does have paperwork leading to that house, so she needs to be there legally. And I guess he's not just willing to put her back behind bars. Oh Lord, y'all, I can't even talk at this point. I guess he's not willing to put her back behind bars so easily, because you have to think of Miley Grace. But I think I told y'all last week when I was updating y'all and telling y'all that Lindsay was back locked up, that that Scott said that Miley Grace's biological dad, and between Lindsay's mom and a couple of other people, it's like a little small village that helps take care of Miley Grace. So you know, Miley Grace is in good hands, and Lindsay ass is locked up, and that's just that on that. Two more couples, y'all, and they're both quick. We got Andrea and Lamar. So Andrea is at this damn hotel. Y'all remember she stayed there overnight, so now it's time to check out. So everybody grabs their luggage and they're getting ready to head back to the house, because Andrea says that she has finally calmed down and she's ready to have a conversation with Lamar. When she gets back to the home, they are having a very cool and calm conversation. I think that this is like the first conversation that we've seen between Andrea and Lamar where one of them did not end up going left. So it really was a situation where they just needed to spend some time apart for the both of them to cool down. And it could have also been the fact that, you know, Priscilla was really affected by this particular argument that just made Andrea take a different approach with Lamar and not do all of that extra dramatic ass shit. So when she walks in the room, she's like, you know, hey, you know, what you doing? What you got going on? And they go right into the conversation. So long story short, Andrea wanted to express to Lamar that she is hurt, most definitely, about teaching Priscilla to lie. But she's also very hurt at the fact that she was not there at the first time of the sisters meeting each other. That is something that she would have definitely wanted to be a part of. And he has taken that opportunity away from her. So it really, really hurt her. And that was just something that Lamar never thought about. So he apologized for that. He also apologized for having Priscilla lie to her, because he does understand how wrong that is. And he already admitted a long time ago that he knows that that was not the right thing to do, but he felt like that was his only option at that time. But Lamar did also say that he feels like it is time for Andrea to really face her issues with Shantae, whatever that is. Now, Andrea kept trying to tell us that it's Lamar's issue, and Lamar needs to have a conversation with Shantae to let Shantae know that it was never me. It was never me as his wife keeping him out of your life. This was something that he was not doing on his own. That's Andrea's stance on it. But Lamar feels like Andrea does feel some type of way about Shantae. And you can tell from the tone and the demeanor that she uses when she even talks about Shantae. She does have issue with Shantae. I don't know if it's anything she'll ever admit to, but it's something other than what she's saying. But Lamar wants them to actually all three sit down and have a conversation, because he agrees with Andrea in the fact of, yeah, I was not there for Shantae, and Shantae feels like you have a lot to do with that. But I would like for you to be there when we have that conversation, so that you can let her know right then and there that you never stopped me from being in her life. That's just something that I never did step up and do. So all the animosity that Shantae has towards Andrea is not necessarily aimed in the right direction. So they just really need to sit down and have a family powwow so that they can get some understanding and move forward. And then last but not least, y'all, Sean and Destiny. Destiny is opening up in this scene talking about you can do anything to her but lie to her. And I looked at her straight crazy. I mean straight crazy, because how can we do anything but lie to you when you've been lying since day one? Because she was referring to Sean. She said that she is just completely over Sean at this moment because of the simple fact that he continues to lie about what he has going on with Kelly. And she doesn't deserve them lies, but since he gonna continue to offer them, she's just gonna continue to do whatever the hell she wants to do. And right about now, what that thing is that she wants to do is ignore his calls and ignore his text messages. And she's done already told him he better not show up to that damn court date. Okay? But we already know that Sean is packed, suited, and booted and ready to go. So Sean is already in the location where the courthouse is. So now let's fast forward. First of all, they petty because they put Sean in the confessional and he just had to tell us one more time for the one time that he's showing up to this court date tomorrow because Destiny is on the hook for $50,000. Her sister is asking her like, so, you know, have you set everything in stone? Are you ready for court in the morning, or are you not going, or what's going on? And Destiny said, you know, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm definitely still, even though it's the night before, it's still a 50-50 chance that I might go and I might not go. And her sister was like, well, you know, the right thing to do is to go because you really want to get all of this behind you. And she was like, no, how can you say that that's the right thing to do? The right thing for me to do would be to continue to stay on the run. And then her sister was like, okay, but think about it. If you do that, you're going to get even longer. And by the time you get out of jail, you're going to have gray hair. And she was like, bitch, don't say no shit like that. But, I mean, her sister was just keeping it real. So, I mean, either way it go, I understand you looking at a long time, Destiny, but your sister was basically just trying to tell you, like, if you just gone and get this over with and then you stay out of trouble and you fly right, then you can put all of this shit behind you and really just start you a normal life. And so the sister was like, okay, but say you do go and say they do give you a little time. Are you going to reach out to Sean then? Like, when are you thinking about talking to Sean? And she was like, well, you know, if I get locked back up, like, I'm going to reach out to him because he's going to take care of me. Like, you know, duh. And now we are at the morning of the court date. So we see Brittany standing there waiting outside the courthouse doors. Now, she definitely slept at Brittany's house last night, but Brittany did her confessional and she said, it's no telling when I wake up in the morning if my sister is going to be laying in that room or not. She was like, you know, she might bolt or, you know, she might decide to do the right thing. I don't know. But when we saw her sister standing in front of the courthouse this morning, like, she didn't say whether Brittany stayed there last night. I mean, I'm sorry, whether Destiny stayed there last night or not. So we don't know. But she's just standing there waiting on her sister to show up and walk into the courtroom. And then while she's standing outside, she sees Sean ass pull up. So she looking crazy as hell. Like, now I know good and damn well my sister asked him not to come, so what the hell is he doing? So now she's slightly irritated and probably like crossing her fingers that this man don't come over here talking to her. But that's the cliffhanger that they left us on for next week. So we don't know if she shows up, if she don't show up, if Sean finna get cussed out, or what's finna go on. And I want to know, where is the mama? So yeah, I hope they show us all of that next week. And y'all know they did another commercial update showing us that John is messing with Christiana's sister. So I ain't finna keep talking about that because they said that that is actually what they're gonna show us next Friday. So y'all know I can't wait to talk about it. But anyway, if you made it this far down in the video, then you know I'm fucking with you the long way and the strong way, okay? But if you like this review, then definitely make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed your girl, then you gotta hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, because your girl drops content each and every week and you just never know what you're gonna get. So other than that, I want y'all to be happy, be healthy, be safe. And I'm about to do my Bell Collectives video, and I guess that means I will catch you in the next video.